Yo, what's going on, everybody? Today I wanted to make a quick video on the looming Bitcoin dominance death cross, right? I know everyone hears death cross and they think it's like this horrible thing and the world's going to end because of this death cross, but today I want to go over what's happened in the past during the Q1 period for Bitcoin dominance when we've seen a daily death cross, which is basically the 50-day moving average going below the 200-day moving average after an extended period of time. And we'll also look at what's happened for the golden crosses at the bottom of the cycles, right? And see if there's any patterns to them or anything we can take away from these golden and death crosses, right? A lot of times you can't, a lot of times you can. You guys, we'll look at the data and see what you guys think about this one. All right, so if you like today's video, hit the like button. A little bit different video today on Bitcoin dominance. But nonetheless, I think it's a very interesting one. So let's jump on into it. So obviously, we are about to get a daily death cross on the Bitcoin dominance. Okay, now I'm not a big fan of death crosses and golden crosses typically, but when there's a repeated pattern on a specific chart that shows a pattern that something is repeatable during a certain period of time, I think we can use something from it. So if we look at Bitcoin dominance, you guys can see that we're about to get the 50-day moving average about to cross below the 200-day moving average. Now, this is the first time we're going to see any type of cross from these. If you actually have to go all the way back down to January 2023, right? So pretty much almost the cycle lows at that point for when we saw Bitcoin dominance actually have a golden cross. All right, now what you'll notice is we're about to get that death cross. But you'll notice is we're actually getting a move up into dominance as we're about to get that death cross. Now, have we seen that in the past? That's the first thing I want to look at today. Have we seen dominance move up in Q1 of the post-halving year before a death cross? Have we seen that before? So I wanted to go back to the two previous cycles and take a look. And, you know, it's all about finding repeatable patterns. So here's 2021, right? And what you'll notice is dominance put in a big blow off top, very similar to what we just did back in November on dominance, and was coming down, right? And you'll notice is we actually got a death cross here in March of 2021. Now, did we have any repeatable pattern into this? Well, what you'll notice is we actually had a dump before the death cross, causing the 50-day moving average to start moving back below the 200-day moving average, but we actually had a pump on dominance into the cross. So as these were crossing, right, or about to cross, you saw dominance start to shoot back up and actually retest this blue moving average here. Okay, so we had a pump into the death cross, and then obviously from that point, you saw dominance absolutely fall off a cliff, back down to the downside, and that's when altcoins really started to go really nuts in March of 2021. All right, now let's go back into the previous cycle, right? Let's go back to 2017. Do we have anything we can take away from this again? Well, what you'll notice from this cycle is a little bit different, right? We had a death cross here in January 2017. Not a more convincing one because we already did have one in February 2016, but we had a golden cross, and then we had another death cross here in January 6th, 2017. And that happens today, is January 6th, 2025. Exactly 8 years later. But anyways, touche. You could say that we're about to get the death cross, and we actually did get a move up, not to the blue moving average, but we did hit the blue moving average, which is the 200-day moving average. You guys can see that we did hit this two more times before we got Bitcoin dominance to absolutely crater back down. So we did test the 200-day moving average, or we did test 200-day moving average twice, right? So let's go back to our current cycle. Well, if we look at where we are now, okay, very simply just kind of look at where we are now, you can see that we are about to get that death cross probably within the next week, right? Within the next week, assuming price Bitcoin dominance doesn't explode up, we're probably going to get that death cross within the next week, okay? Now we're back above the 200-day, so we've hit the requirement of pumping and hitting the 200-day. Are we about to see Bitcoin dominance crater? So we have a pattern here. We have a pump into the death cross or shortly after the death cross. Okay, so right now we are pumping into the death cross. We're doing the exact same thing we did the two previous cycles. Now let's go look at the golden crosses. Did we see the opposite? Did we see a dump into the golden crosses on Bitcoin dominance? And then we're going to put this all together towards the end of the video. So back in January 2023, when we did get that final golden cross that lasted 2 years and had this massive Bitcoin dominance bull market, you could notice is we had a big move up on dominance. We had the golden cross, but into the golden cross, we had a dump back down to the 50 moving average before continuation, right? So a dump into the golden cross, and then pump, right? So we have the opposite of what we normally see during death crosses. So we have sort of a pattern going on here. Dumps into golden crosses and then pumps, and pumps into death crosses and then dumps. Okay, so let's go to back and over here in 2018. Did we have something similar? Well, we did again, right? We had the golden cross right here in 2018 before a massive Bitcoin dominance bull market. And we had a dump, not quite to the moving averages, dump into the golden cross, and then continuation after the golden cross, right? So we have this really crazy thing happening with dominance, where we typically see on death crosses, we see pumps into the death crosses and then absolute meltdowns. So how we're going to put this together is, are we about to do the same thing for Bitcoin dominance again? Are we about to see the death cross, a pump into the death cross, or maybe this is the final, this is the pump into the death cross, could go a little bit higher before the meltdown and start of the quote unquote altcoin season everyone's waiting for? Well, this would be the seasonality for it. We know on the channel that typically January to May of the post-halving year is typically when you see that crazy altcoin season. We are in the seasonality. We are about to get that death cross within the next week. We are getting a move up into the death cross. We're doing a lot of similar things that we've done during cycle bottoms and cycle tops for Bitcoin dominance. So everything looks very familiar to me. If we did get the death cross, both times we had the death cross in Q1 of the post-halving year, what we did see was a move down both times to at least this 39% on dominance. Now, that would be a crazy move. And I've said this on my stream many, many times, is if dominance went all the way back down to 39%, that would be the craziest altcoin season I think that we would ever see. For the simple fact that Bitcoin has a higher price than it was in previous cycles during this period. Okay, which would mean if Bitcoin dominance went back to 39%, altcoins would be at crazy valuations, absolute crazy valuations. And maybe this is the blow off top, the blow off top coming for altcoins, right? Now, maybe we don't get back to 39%. Maybe this one we just go back to 49%. Maybe we just go back and test these previous highs, and this is some sort of wake off, right? But anyways, I think this is shaping up a lot like the previous Bitcoin dominance tops where we have that death cross in Q1 of the post-halving year. And I think we're about to see dominance start coming back down over the course of the next month. And we're about to see, in my opinion, into Q1 of this year, which we're already in Q1, but into Trump coming into office and things of that nature, we're about to see dominance come down, in my personal opinion, right? Just like we did back in 2021 and just like we did back in 2017, all right? So we take a look at the death crosses. We took a look at the golden crosses. We took a look at what happened both times during both of those scenarios and the similarities that we're seeing now and where both the death crosses went before. And though I do not believe that we do reach 39% because that would mean we go to crazy valuations for altcoins, I do believe we're going to see a move down on Bitcoin dominance and the typical January to May altcoin run that we've seen every single cycle in the post-halving year. All right. So that's today's video. If you did enjoy it, make sure you subscribe so you guys can see all the future videos, make videos on altcoins, all the best tech coins, right? Live stream every single day. Make sure you guys are here for it. We're going to have a lot of fun this year, in my personal opinions. And make sure you guys are here on this channel. I'll catch you guys in the next video or the next live stream tomorrow. Peace out, my fellas. Later.